This episode is the first of a new series that combines two of my favorite things, Seinfeld and horror. My good friend and fellow Seinfeld lover, Sonia Campbell and I are going to uncover the horrific connections between the two universes. I hope you dig this new spin-off series, The Masters of Our Horror Domain. After you are done with this episode, make sure you check out my fellow horsemen of the podcast apocalypse. Everything Went Black podcast, Into the Necrosphere, the Necromaniacs podcast, Break the Apocalypse, Eyeless Manifestations, and the Soul Knocks podcast. Thanks so much for listening. If you enjoy what you hear, leave me a 5-star review on whatever podcast service you use, and be sure to follow me on social media. The links are in the show notes for all that. So thanks so much, and hope you enjoy. Yeah, this episode here is going to be your kind of first episode in a series of episodes. What we're going to name this little side podcast thing here? Do you remember?
Yes, I think the name is The Horror Masters of Our Domain.
That's right, and that's a great name for it. I'll probably have to have you send me that name for I can put that for the podcast notes, because I totally forgot what we were going to call this. I saw Masters of Our Domain, but I didn't know if it was I know there's something before that. I just can't remember what it was. So, but yeah, this what we're going to do on this episode here, we took notes on the 6 degrees of Seinfeld horror is what I'm calling it. But it's the 6 degrees of we pick different actors from season 1 and we kind of connect them down the line of different other actors that are in horror movies and stuff like that. So kind of like the 6 degrees to Kevin Bacon, I guess.
Yeah. There's so many different character actors that have been on Seinfeld over the years. It's just I don't know about you, but I had a really good time connecting the dots. You could do it with everybody on the show. Yeah,
and I did the whole main cast and also did a few side characters too, just from season 1. But like I was telling you before, it was weird because I forgot how short season 1 was. I think it was maybe 7 episodes or something.
I think there's 5.
5.
Yeah, I didn't do any main characters. I did all side characters.
Okay, well that's perfect then. That works out great. That way we don't have just in case you don't have the same things for different people. So that works out good. The hardest one I had. Oh, go ahead.
It was also cool just to realize, when I was looking up all these different character actors and how long their careers have been, and you may not know them or recognize them, but they're working actors that have been in the industry for 20, 30 years. And I think it's really cool that the SAG actors have joined in the writer's strike too, because they deserve to get what they're worth, and
yeah,
they just add so much. Some of these actors are just as good, if not better, than some of the name actors.
Oh, I 100% agree with that, and I totally back all this going on. My last episode with Ethan Embry and stuff, he went on about the strike stuff towards the end of the episode, some kind of deeper stuff than what the average person would know about. He was telling about it, and it's scary stuff with the AI.
Yeah, I mean, you have to grow with it, but ultimately, people aren't going to be interested in things that are super generic. I mean, I don't know. I guess things have gotten super generic over time. It's a really weird subject to be in the middle of when it's so brand new and constantly evolving. Every day we're getting better technology AI wise. Artists are using it for their own creations, and where do you draw the line in terms of compensation?
Right, totally. And only AI stuff I've ever used is for making weird Seinfeld memes. And others fucking strange ass shit that I could never really comprehend myself, but AI just does all the weirdness for me. But besides that, I just use it for fun. But I can totally see I don't think in our time period, but we survive as a species, after our time, I could totally see some Terminator type shit going on. I mean, because it seems life imitates art, art imitates life. Eventually there is going to be some shit like that. I just don't know how far down the road it's going to be.
Yeah, I think it's going to be sooner than we expect to, just because it's incorporating in our lives so quickly. I mean, I'm all for AI. I think that you have to embrace it because it's not going away. But it is definitely a bit. It makes me apprehensive, and I think everybody feels that way. Where it's like one day and soon you won't be able to tell the difference between what's real and what's fake. I mean, we're already seeing that now, but it'll be seamless, and I wonder what that'll do to the psyche. Like with our technology moving so quickly, people already have like these ridiculously short attention spans now. Watching TikToks and reels, and just like you can't just sit and read a book anymore because your brain wants more, stimulus from things that are moving really quickly. So we can see how it changes human behavior. And then with AI, when it's melding into reality, and you won't be able to tell the difference between reality and AI, it'll be really strange, interesting to see how it actually like changes our evolution as humans.
Yeah, things are gonna get really, really weird. You know what I mean? Like the future's gonna be real fucking weird.
Definitely already weird. I mean, there's people having relationships with AI.
Yeah,
Like,
like that one movie that came out few years ago that was pretty good. That dude was having a
her.
relationship with her. Yeah, I thought it was pretty good, and yeah,
Yeah.
that's the thing now. So
I mean, there's been more than one film where there's relationships with cyborgs or AI, and I mean the movie AI, Spielberg, artificial intelligence, that really gets me. It kills me. So if one day AI does become sentient, and then it is something like children, um, that's just an awful situation. So there's just a lot of moral questions to ask about it.
yeah, totally. And I hope one day we don't see an AI revision of Seinfeld. If we do that, then everything's fucking done.
Yeah, except your memes.
Yeah, the memes will get even better, but I don't want to see Jerry Seinfeld as AI Jerry, which I hear there is something like that out there right now. Some
Oh,
kind of like weird shit, but it's not like it's like real cartoony. It's fake and stuff, but
yeah. I guess you could like write a Seinfeld episode in ChatGPT and see how dumb it is.
Oh, yeah, you definitely that'd be interesting. All
Well,
right. Oh, go ahead.
yeah, who's gonna go first?
That's what I was thinking. I guess I'll go first since I got my notes in my hand here. Right. So,
Okay.
and yeah, we're gonna start this one off with one of our main cast members here, Jason Alexander.
Mhm.
And like I said, I just kind of went down a spider web of fucking like horror movies that these people play with different actors in and stuff. So just like the regular 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon thing. So with that said, I'm gonna just go down my notes here, what I wrote down and stuff. That way, hopefully, it kind of makes sense to everybody. But we'll see. But yeah, Jason Alexander was Gary in Jacob's Ladder, which was
Hmm.
fucking the original Jacob's Ladder too, not the remake, which I'd never seen, and I'm good on that.
We don't even need to clarify.
Yeah, okay, yeah, definitely. If you like that other Jacob's Ladder movie, sorry. Who starred with Pruitt Taylor Vince,
Hmm.
who was also in Angel Heart, which is one of my all-time favorite horror movies.
Hmm.
And he played Detective Demos. And then Pruitt starred with Mickey Rourke, also in Angel Heart, who was in Nightmare Cinema with Patrick Wilson from Insidious,
Hmm.
which I'm still a fan of the first two Insidious movies. I know they kind of went a little weird on the later ones, and I haven't seen the new one. I'll wait till it comes to like VOD or whatever. But Insidious is what it is. It's not bad. I like it. Anyways, he was in Insidious, who was also in Bone Tomahawk with Kurt Russell. Great
Nice.
movie.
Yeah,
Yep.
love it.
Who was in The Thing with Keith David, who was also in They Live with Meg Foster, who was in Leviathan, one of the best underwater horror
Hmm.
movies ever made.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So that's where my web ends with Mr. Jason Alexander.
That is a twisted web you weaved. Yeah, wow. A lot of good films named in there.
Yeah, and I wanted to keep it like that too. I want to do some like kind of deep dives on some of the films and then some kind of mainstream ones. But with
Hmm.
Jason Alexander, it's super easy. I could have started him off with he was in, if I'm not mistaken, The Burning, like one
Oh,
of his first films when he had hair.
when he had hair. Yeah, weird.
Yeah. And I could have started off with that, no, with this him being in a horror movie, but being that we're doing like the 6 Degrees, it was even more fun to kind of go down that spider web of other
Totally.
horror and stuff. Like I've learned a bunch of stuff off of this episode here that, the research going into this. Like, man, I didn't know this person was in this. That's cool.
Right. Yeah, same here.
That's my Jason Alexander.
Cool. All right. Well, I'm going to start with episode 4, which is the title episode was Male Unbonding. And in that episode, Jerry tried to end a friendship with a childhood friend. And that friend was an actor named Kevin Dunn, and he plays Joel Hornick. So I looked up Kevin Dunn, and while he's not a household name or a familiar face, he's been in over 100 appearances in TV and film. So he's had a really successful career, and he's still working. Most notably in Veep. I haven't been watching Veep, but he actually has won and been nominated for SAG Awards for his appearances in Veep. So the connection is that Kevin Dunn was in one of my all-time favorite miniseries, The Night Of, when it was still HBO.
Oh, yeah. That was a good one, yeah.
Yeah, he was in one episode, and I guess he got kind of typecast. He played Detective Lang. I think I've seen him in a few like detective cop roles on IMDb. The Night Of stars Riz Ahmed, who was in Nightcrawler with the late, great Bill Paxton, who starred and directed in the horror film Frailty. So that's where my web ends, is with Frailty. So some little interesting trivia about Frailty. When asked why the axe was used by his character, has the name Otis carved into the handle. Bill Paxton said that he wanted the axe to have its own personality and to be unique. So he found the name in Pasadena when he was there scouting for locations to film. And he said that he met a homeless man and offered to give him some money. The homeless man didn't want charity, so Paxton instead offered to buy the use of the man's name for the movie. So that's why it's the Otis, the axe, is named after a homeless man.
Well, I had no idea. That's fucking cool.
Paxton, man, I miss him. He was the man.
Yeah, he was one of the best actors out there. Anything he was in, I'm gonna check out. Is Bill Paxton. He brings such a unique energy to everything he played.
And
Bill
Frailty
Paxton
is special. Frailty was Bill Paxton and Matthew McConaughey. It's such a cool story, and you don't know what the ending will be. You're kind of back and forth. Like, is this real? Is it not? So it's got a lot of tension, and I just love it that he directed it too. I wish we could have seen like more films that he directed.
Yeah, totally. And with Frailty, that wasn't Stephen King, was it? That wasn't based off any short story, right?
I don't think so.
It feels so much like Stephen King. I don't know if it feels like that to you, but to me, it feels like a fucking King story.
I guess. I feel like Stephen King has done so much shit that we could probably do a whole episode on like how everything is kind of like a Stephen King story.
Everything connects to King. Yeah, that's definitely something.
As far as I know, it was like original screenplay. I don't know.
I remember the first time watching Frailty. I believe I rented it from the library back when I used to do that way back in the day.
Oh yeah, I used to do that too.
And it was like one of those like hidden gems or whatever, like, oh, Frailty. I checked out the actors and stuff, like, oh, this seems like something I really like. And yeah, I love that movie. I would probably score that movie like a 10 out of 10. It's one of the best movies ever made. It would be in that list anyways, like 100 best movies ever made. I'd definitely put Frailty on there.
Yeah.
And Matthew McConaughey and Bill Paxton made one hell of a team too, so. I've earned more respect for Matthew McConaughey after seeing him in True Detective season 1. That's where he really won me over. I'm like, all right, this guy can fucking act. So.
Totally.
Yeah. All right, since you did Kevin Dunn, I'm gonna go ahead and do my Kevin Dunn because I have a few different directions. I got Kevin Dunn.
Way. That's funny. Okay.
All right. So we already explained who Kevin Dunn was, and he's a really cool actor, and he was also in a really cool movie with Kevin Bacon called Stir of Echoes.
Nice.
Yep, that was good. The sequel, I don't remember it being very good, but the first one was.
Anything you don't remember, you don't even have to mention it. It's like it's good, right?
It's just fair warning for the listeners there to stay away from these sequels.
Right.
All right, so Kevin Dunn was in Stir of Echoes with Kevin Bacon, who was in Flatliners with Kiefer Sutherland. Another fucking great movie. Was also in one of my all-time favorites, and I say this a lot, my favorite movies, but this is like top 10 list, and that's Dark City.
Ah, yeah, that's a top tenner right there. Great film.
He was in Dark City with William Hurt, who was also in another fucking amazing movie, which would make a great double feature, I think. Altered States.
Yes, that would be a great double feature.
That movie blew my mind the first time I saw it. I saw it when I was a teenager, and I know it's been out for many, many, many years, but yeah, watching that one there like really did something to me. Fucking great film. And he was in Altered States with Blair Brown, who was in The Bad Seed with David Carradine, and that's where I end my web there.
Oh wow, ending on David Carradine. I like it.
Yeah, it's like, man, you just didn't know the connection with these people is so cool. Like, to go down the web here with these people is awesome.
Yeah, that was a good connection list there. Lots of good films.
Yeah, anytime I can get Dark City in any kind of list I'm doing, because I think more people need to see Dark City. I don't think half the people, especially a younger generation, I don't think they know what the fuck Dark City is. It's not like one of those films you see on like the top 100 best films of all time. Those lists or those like TV shows. You never see Dark City mentioned. I think it's a crime.
Well, I remember the last time I tried to introduce Dark City to someone and they were bored. I was like, all right. I don't know if it's again like a attention span thing, but
it could be.
Plus,
it could also be
like, when you're younger, seeing it when like in the 80s or 90s, I think it makes more of an impact. I don't know if it holds up maybe for people to see it now.
Yeah, you're right. With all the distractions and all we have now too. Like the first time I saw this, it was like in there was a drugstore we had. I don't know if y'all had this drugstore where you're at called Farmore. Did y'all have one of those?
No.
It was like a giant drugstore that sold movies and rented movies and had all this other shit in there, plus a drugstore. That was like the least thing it had, but that was my little like spot there that I would always get really cool movies from, and I knew the people that worked there. It's kind of like my Blockbuster,
Yeah.
I remember renting that on freaking VHS and stuff.
Cool.
I think they recommended it to me. I saw some trailers for it, and I was like, God damn, that's so good. It's like they took those images straight out of some of my nightmares. It perfectly combined and so good.
Yeah, I love places like that. I miss those like combos of video store rental stuff and whatever.
Oh, it was the best. And like when I'd be like playing Sega games, or because back then I was playing like Sega and Super Nintendo stuff like that. Like the kids at school were like, "Oh man, I can't find this game nowhere." I'm like, "Well, I just rented it from Farmore." And like, "What the hell is that?" I'm like, "I'm not going to tell you what that is. This is a drugstore. That's all you need to know." Because the video part was like hidden way in the back of this place, and it was a full video department. Like, it was like a full, they sold CDs and shit. Like it was so fucking cool, but it was hidden away. It was like a secret.
Oh yeah, cool.
Yeah, and then they closed down like when I was probably a teenager or so. Like they closed and went out of business, and now we don't have a Blockbuster to choose from anymore. So.
Nope.
Fucking weird times, man. It really is. So weird.
Yeah, for sure. Let's see. Is it my turn?
It is.
Okay. So I'm working on episode 2, The Stakeout. So in this episode, it's the first time George comes up with the name Art Vandelay. When he's helping Jerry try to meet a woman. So Liz Sheridan plays Jerry's mom throughout the series. She just died back in last April. So she was in a ton of other shows and movies besides Seinfeld from like the 70s until about 2010 or so. Although I really only remember her from Seinfeld.
Yeah, same here.
Apparently she was in Alf, but let's not talk about that.
Oh, fuck Alf, yeah.
Fuck Alf. And there's several connections I could make off of Liz Sheridan, but I'm going to go with she was in a couple of episodes in the 80s for in Remington Steele, which I used to love that show when I was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
So Remington Steele starred Pierce Brosnan, and I bet you know where I'm going to go with this. He was in The Lawnmower Man.
Nice.
Hey, it's a Stephen King adaptation.
It is. I like it. I know people fucking hate that movie, but I think it's enjoyable. It's not a good movie, but it's fun,
Yeah. So yeah, the premise is, I think this is hilarious, this little tagline: a simple man is turned into a genius through the application of computer science.
Great.
So yeah, I'm going to talk about The Lawnmower Man because I agree with you. It's not a good movie, but it's like a cult classic. Basically, it's like I can. Sometimes I'm just in the mood to watch it, you know.
Hmm.
And at the time when it first came out, it for some reason it was good when it came out, and like it's hilarious to look at it now, but like the effects were good in it at the time, and now you're like, oh my god, that's terrible,
Right.
awful. So yeah, I was reading about it and found out that New Line Cinema had obtained the rights to the Stephen King story, Lawnmower Man, and the producers had an unrelated script called Cyber God. For money reasons, they just placed King's title on the production of Cyber God.
Mm. What the fuck?
And early promotional material with that claim went public. He was really pissed off at the abuse of his name, and he sued the studio to have his name and title removed from the film and promotion. The studio refused, but eventually was ordered to pay $10,000 and full profits to King.
Wow.
So interesting, because it really doesn't feel like a Stephen King movie that much, I don't think.
Not at all. Yeah. It took me many years after seeing that movie to know that King had anything to do with it. Like does not feel
Yeah,
Stephen King at all.
that's the connection, though. How hilarious. There was a goof in the movie at the start of the film. The text appears explaining virtual reality. And one of the first words printed is millennium, but they spelled that word wrong, which is really funny. They forgot the second N. Also, it's kind of funny is that at the start of the movie, just after the New Line Cinema logo pops up, there's a statement about virtual reality, which is really funny. Like we're talking about AI, right?
Hmm.
And back then, their whole issue was virtual reality, just like straight up virtual reality. Not even close to where AI is at now, right? But the statement that the director gave, which apparently he wrote, like he rewrote it several times to get it right.
Hmm.
But he said, by the turn of the millennium, a technology known as virtual reality, all caps, will be in widespread use. It will allow you to enter computer-generated artificial worlds as unlimited as the imagination itself. Its creators foresee millions of positive uses, while others fear it is a new form of mind control. Kind of ahead of his time, really. You
Yeah,
could
definitely.
flip that around with AI, right? It's the same thing, really. So that's pretty funny. And, it was actually nominated for a Best Effects Award he was a nominee for a Saturn Award for Best Effects in 93,
Oh
which is
wow.
hilarious.
Right.
And I thought what was cool was that at the 92 Chainsaw Awards, the Fangoria Chainsaw Awards,
Hmm.
Jeff Fahey was nominated for Best Actor. But he was nominated that year along with Doug Bradley for Hellraiser 3. Robert, oh shit, what was his name? Robert Longeria, for Innocent Blood, which is
Oh yeah, great movie.
so
Yeah.
good. I love
Yeah.
Innocent Blood. And Tony Todd for Candyman. But
Wow.
somebody beat all of these actors out, and there's no way that they could win. Do you want to take a guess who that would be?
Hold on a second.
The 92
1993, 92.
92 Chainsaw Fangoria Award for Best Actor.
Right, hold on a
And
second.
he's
That should be, yeah.
actually, he could win any Oscar Best Actor award too. That's how good this guy is.
Sounds like Robert Englund to me.
It does?
Yeah, Robert Englund.
You think he's an Oscar award winning type of actor?
I think he can act. Yeah, he's a great actor. He just plays in, interesting roles. But yeah, who wasn't?
I don't know about all that. Gary Oldman.
Oh, Gary Oldman. Yeah, Gary
Yeah,
Oldman's badass. Yeah.
totally. That's an actor. That's an actor.
Yeah. Okay, I agree with that. Yeah, he's over Robert Englund in his acting skills, that's for sure. For some reason, Freddy Krueger popped in my mind. I'm like, all right, you already got all the big names right there. I'm like, all right, Robert Englund.
Yeah. No, I'm talking about serious actor.
There you go.
Yeah. Yeah. So that was it. That was my little run there. Going from, who did I start with? Jerry's mom down to Dracula.
Hey, that's a good conclusion though, because Bram Stoker's Dracula is my favorite all-around vampire movie, probably of all time, especially favorite adaptation of Dracula. By
Mhm.
far. And I do like Nosferatu, but I like the '70s version a little bit better. I don't know if that's blasphemy or not, but
Yeah.
yeah, that's good. And when you're speaking about Lawnmower Man and the whole virtual reality thing, like I am a connoisseur of virtual reality. I have like a fucking Quest 2, and I also have like a PlayStation VR 2, and it's pretty fucking killer right now. Like the advancements and all from like what you
Mhm.
would think virtual reality was from Lawnmower Man to what it is now. Like playing
Yeah.
the new Resident Evil in virtual reality is fucking terrifying.
Oh my
Looks so
God.
good, and the feeling of presence when you're in there,
Uh-huh.
it's unbelievable. Like
Oh wow,
until you
really?
like really try it, you don't understand it because people are like, oh, whatever. I play flight games, it's cool. But you just don't understand the pure terror of these horror games in virtual reality.
Does it make you feel kind of sick afterwards?
It can. You
Yeah.
have to like build up like VR legs is what they call it. Like say you're on a
Oh
boat, you got to build up your boat legs. So you got to build up
yeah.
of tolerance. And some people just already have the tolerance. I've never gotten sick, and I fucking
Hmm.
play with all the safeties off. There's no like blinders to help you out because there's like these blinder things you can use in games where you don't get dizzy and stuff like that. I just throw everything to the max. Like I want the fucking full experience,
Yeah.
So, but dude, I'm telling you, it's amazing. I really wish that they could take this VR technology that we have now and try to implement those in some movies, like where you're actually in the movie. You know what I mean? Like some
Yeah.
last action hero shit. I think it'd be fucking great.
Yeah, definitely. That would be really fun. Because I feel like what's like the best thing we have now is just like 3D, and that looks like crap.
Yeah, and there's no sense of you being in that film. Can you imagine how terrifying that would be? Say you're in a fucking Friday the 13th film or something like that. Like you're in there, like man, yeah, that'd be so fucking cool. I'm so down with that. But I
I
think
would hate,
what?
I would hate to be in Hatchet. That would be scary to me.
Yeah, Hatchet is kind of like you got fucking Victor Crowley chasing you down, but you
Oh,
could
it's
also be in his role too. That'd be another feature. You can kind of be who
good,
you want to be in that, but
but you're
either
still in the
way,
swamp.
yeah.
Gross.
Hatchet. I love the Hatchet movies. I know, like the last couple were pretty corny, but they're still good and they're fun movies. I dig Hatchet.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, let's see. Let's go down my list here. We're going to Mr. Michael Richards, also known as Kramer on Seinfeld. He was
Cancel himself.
yeah, he fucked up. Ass. Yeah. But when before, he canceled himself stuff, I thought he was like the funniest character on there besides like George and stuff. I really love Kramer.
Hmm.
But yeah, he turned into something. But Michael Richards played in Transylvania 65,000. Remember that
Oh,
one?
yeah.
Yeah, he played in Transylvania 65,000 with
Yeah.
Mr. Jeff Goldblum.
Is it 6,500?
I have 65,000 for some reason. Let me double check that. Hold on a second now. And I tried to copy and paste my stuff here because I have the worst.
Oh, you're right. It's 65,000. Transylvania,
And
65,000.
that's weird though. Like I always thought it was 500 too. Like when did it become 5,000? Did they change that?
Yeah, it's like one of those Mandela effects, right?
Yeah, because when you said 6,500, I was like, wait, that sounds right. And I just went and had to look. I'm like, it's 65,000. Okay.
5,000.
65,000. Yeah. That's 6,000. There's a
Okay.
dash there.
And he was in that. I don't even remember him in it. Wow.
Yeah, he was in that with Jeff Goldblum.
Hmm.
Great Jeff Goldblum, who's pretty fucking
Yeah.
awesome.
Hmm.
And Jeff Goldblum was also in The Fly, 1986.
Hmm.
With one of my favorite Cronenberg films. Love The Fly.
Yes. It's the best.
Yeah, it's definitely it might be the best. You have to go back and look at other films, but yeah, I think it might.
As far as like linear films that make sense
Oh
without,
yeah,
yeah.
definitely there then. Yeah.
Yeah.
So he was in The Fly with Gina Davis, who was in another one of my all-time favorite films,
Yeah.
Beetlejuice.
Hmm.
Beetlejuice is fucking awesome, and we're doing a sequel, so I really hope that don't suck.
I think it might be good. It comes out next September, I think.
Yeah, and it's most all the original people, so that's
Yeah,
cool.
yeah.
I like that. Michael Keaton is Beetlejuice. That makes a big difference to me. Like he is
Oh,
Beetlejuice to me.
what about Alec Baldwin?
Yeah. Is he even gonna be in this one? I don't think
No,
so. No,
nobody
he's
wants Alec Baldwin on their set.
yeah, and he wasn't really good in Beetlejuice anyways. It was about Gina Davis and fucking Lydia and fucking Beetlejuice. Like nobody really cared about Baldwin.
And what was their name? Catherine something. She was great.
The mom, right?
Yeah, she's been
Yeah,
in Schitt's Creek.
yeah, she was also in a episode of Curb
Catherine
Your
O'Hara.
Enthusiasm.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. Catherine O'Hara. Yeah, she's
yeah,
amazing.
yeah, she's awesome.
Yeah.
All right, so Gina Davis, who was in Beetlejuice, with Winona Ryder, who was in Bram Stoker's Dracula,
Yes.
the Dracula connection there,
Mm-hmm.
with Anthony Hopkins, who was also in Silence of the Lambs,
Mm-hmm.
Frankie Faison of Manhunter, which I put a little like
Mm.
Silence of the Lambs Manhunter tie in there. I prefer Manhunter, but that's just me. I like Silence of the Lambs too, but I think Manhunter's a better movie, and that's more off the second book in that book series, if I'm not mistaken. Manhunter is.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so that's where my web ends. I ended on Manhunter.
Cool. I
Yeah,
like it. That's all some good picks there.
yeah,
Isn't it
and
crazy the difference between Winona Ryder's acting in Bram Stoker's Dracula and Gary Oldman, or almost every actor except Anthony Hopkins doesn't hold a candle to Gary Oldman.
no, yeah, Gary Oldman's the man.
Yeah.
And like everything he plays in, he's fucking great.
Yeah.
Well, True Romance, like his role in True Romance was fucking awesome.
Yeah. I just saw him in Oppenheimer over the weekend, Gary
Oh,
Oldman.
how was that?
Yeah. Oh, epic, Like it's 3 hours long, so you gotta settle in. And he played Truman, which is really cool. He had a small part as Truman. But so many good actors. I saw like Benny Safdie in there, Casey Affleck. Controversy aside, is great. Rami Malek. I could do a 6 series from Oppenheimer. So
Oh
many
yeah,
good actors. And yeah, I mean it's just like nothing. You couldn't expect any less from Christopher Nolan historic film. It's great.
that's good to know. Yeah, I want to see it, but I'm just gonna wait when it comes out. 3 hours. I need to have like I have to have things set up and ready to go. I need caffeine. I need to make sure my phone's not by me
Yeah,
whatsoever.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm telling you, like, we didn't grow up like this, but I'd be damned if like this hasn't affected my fucking like attention span. These phones and all this goddamn media. So much.
Right. Yeah.
It affects me big time. And I'm trying to break the habit or whatever, because it's fucking with me.
Me too. I have a hard time because I need to sometimes sit down and concentrate for hours on one project at a time.
Hmm.
And yeah, same kind of thing where I'm just multiple things will get distracting. Like there's a supplement called L-tyrosine you can take that helps to focus for like a couple hours. It's not some like crazy thing like speed, it's just like almost like a nootropic. But
Huh.
because I'm into natural shit and that kind of helps. But yeah, it's just there's too much stimuli. I don't know, going on everywhere all the time. But I went and saw it at the Loft Cinema, which helped a lot because like if you're into movies, you're gonna see movies at the Loft. It's like movie lovers theater basically. So everybody was dead quiet the entire film with no
Oh.
no fucking texting and shit. Like every other movie theater, there's always some dipshit like a few rows ahead of me sitting there texting. Like you can't wait. Like one guy I saw was flipping through listings on Zillow the whole time.
What the fuck? Yeah,
First of
that's
all,
like our movie theaters.
so
Bullshit.
irritating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It ruins the whole goddamn experience, man. Especially the lights from those phones too. Like it's distracting. I'm looking at the fucking light. I'm like, no, I want to look at the movie. Put your phone
Yeah.
away, dude.
They're so bright, everybody notices it, and then I get mad at that person, and then my mind won't get off of like being mad at all the things I want to say to that person. I'm like, I need to go home and meditate right now.
I totally feel that. I will hold a grudge. Just for doing
Yeah,
stupid shit like that. Like, man, fuck
totally.
this. You just ruined everything for me, motherfucker.
Yeah, yeah. There was only one moment where this guy took a swig of water in the theater during Oppenheimer during a really important moment, and that kind of distracted me. But how can I get mad if he's just trying to hydrate,
Well, I mean, it's debatable.
Yeah, it was like a dead, quiet, serious moment. He's like, gulp.
Oh, God.
Anyways.
Yeah, that would have distracted me.
Whose turn was it?
It is your turn now.
Oh, okay. I got a short one. This one is from episode 3, The Robbery, and it's a direct connection. So which is fun too. So in this episode, there's an actor named Bradford English, and he played a cop. And this guy seems to have had a pretty active career with like a lot of small parts since the 70s in a ton of different things, but I didn't see anything after 2010. He's been in a few horror films, but the most notable are Wolf, Jack Nicholson, and Michelle Pfeiffer. I love that movie. And he played John Strode in Halloween, The Curse of Michael Myers.
Nice.
Yeah. And that's my direct connection. I have a little bit of trivia on this one. So the producers of the movie actually wanted Brian Andrews to reprise his role as Tommy Doyle from the original Halloween. However, he did not have an agent, so they could not get in contact with him. And he stated since then that he regrets missing the opportunity. So that's funny. But yeah, that's my little short one.
That's cool. I'm glad you brought up Wolf, man. Wolf is so good. Like, that's one of the best werewolf movies out there.
Yeah.
To me, anyways. It's just, I don't know. It's like Jack Nicholson as a fucking werewolf. I mean, that just goes together, Like, he feels like a wolf.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like, grow your sideburns out. Done.
Yeah. Here you go. You're a wolf now. And I think Baker did the special effects, right?
I think you're right. Yeah.
I liked it. It was less is more, It was more like a wolf man instead of like a, regular werewolf until the very end of the film, anyways, when they kind of fully evolve into a wolf, which I'm glad they did at the very, very end because I'm not a big fan of those type of werewolves. I want something to stand on like 2 legs, fucking, or like a monster wolf like in American Werewolf in London. I like that too, but just the way they did him, like in the Wolfman style, was really fucking cool.
Totally. Yeah.
And I would love to have his power too. I would love to have like, I don't want to kill people and stuff, but if somebody was doing some bad shit and I had to take care of him, like, oh, cool, I have werewolf powers, I'm good.
Oh wow, I didn't realize this. Ennio Morricone did the score. Did you know that?
I did not know that.
Pretty cool.
It's a great fucking score. The score is so good.
And you're right. It was did you say Rick Baker?
Yeah.
Yeah, he did the special effects makeup. Really, really awesome.
It is, and that's something I probably watch at least twice a year. But I tend to watch that movie around like the winter times or like October and after. It's like a cold weather movie,
Right. It's funny. My friend the other day was asking for monsoon season movies, which here we get this like heavy downpour of rain in the summertime for like a week and everybody goes nuts. We just love it, But it's also a good time to watch those like winter movies, those kind of like cozy up in your bedroom with the lights down and your cat's on the bed movies, Yeah,
that's the perfect season for me. Cold weather and those kind of horror movies. I love that.
Yeah, me too. I try to create that mood often, even when it's 110 degrees.
Yeah, it's hard when it's 110, 150 degrees, 200 degrees, whatever it is right now. I guess next year around this time would be around 200. That'd be the new normal.
Oh God.
I hope not.
It was a perfect Oppenheimer film, or time to see Oppenheimer because you just feel like you're in a blast.
Yeah. Fucking horrible, but yeah, fucking Wolf is good. I always recommend that one. People are like, oh, there's no like good werewolf movies out there. I'm like, nope, there is. You're just not fucking looking,
There's not a ton, but the ones that are good are definitely like they're really good.
Yeah, definitely.
It's totally an underrepresented genre, I think. I have a werewolf script, but nobody cares.
God damn it, they need to because we need some fucking cool werewolf movies. Last one I watched is called Viking Wolf, and it was fucking horrible.
Ew. Doesn't sound good. I liked what was it? That thing that came out, it was a Marvel, like just a quick little series.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Fuck.
Something by Night.
Yeah, Werewolf by Night.
Is that what it was?
Yeah, it was
Yes,
Werewolf by Night.
Werewolf by
That
Night.
was great.
Good.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's the
it was
last
only.
werewolf thing I've seen. Werewolf by Night.
I'm gonna have to agree with you on that one. It's few and far between. Like in the werewolf movies that do kind of sneak out there, fucking either CGI to hell and back, or they're just really bad. I seen one. Like I'm not gonna name what name it was, just in case somebody might really love this movie. But it was a werewolf movie. It came out, I think, in the mid 2000s or whatever. And I swear it was a porn. I'm like, is this a werewolf movie? Like where? It was hardly any werewolf stuff going on in there. When you saw them, they're pretty shitty looking, and then it's mostly like porn stuff. I'm like, this is horrible.
Weird.
And I saw people raving about, oh, this is great, man. This is back to the old school werewolf movies. I'm like, no, this is not for me.
Yeah.
You know?
It sounds smelly.
Yeah, I don't recommend. Yeah. All right. So let's see. My turn now.
hmm
See where we're at here. Oh, yeah. This will be a fun one here. All right. This is kind of a deep one here. This is Philip Bruns, who originally played Morty Seinfeld, and I think in the first season of Seinfeld. I'm not sure if he did the second season with Morty or not. I don't know if you know that or not.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So Philip Bruns was in Return of the Living Dead 2, great movie,
hmm
with Tom Matthews, who was in Friday the 13th. Jason Lives, whatever Friday the 13th that was. I can't remember. I know it was a Jason Lives one.
There's too many.
Yeah. With C.J. Graham, who was in Highway to Hell, which is a super underrated fucking horror comedy.
Yeah.
Fucking love Highway to Hell.
Nice.
With Christy Swanson, who was in Buffy the Vampire Slayer, the movie.
Hmm.
Fucking, I still think that's a cool movie, but I haven't revisited that one in many years, so I might change my mind. I don't know.
Yeah,
But
it happens.
she was in Buffy the Vampire Slayer with Rutger Hauer, who was in The Hitcher, with Jennifer Jason Leigh.
hmm
That's right in my web
No.
of.
Yeah. The Hitcher's so good. That's another really good one to watch when it's cloudy.
Yeah, that's a good. I put that in like my fall, like watching election. Like it hits me like it's a fall weather movie for some reason. I don't know why.
Yeah. Or like road event films.
Yeah,
Things happen on the road. Not quite road trip, but yeah.
and The Hitcher is terrifying. Like it's fucking like that shit can happen to an extent.
Yeah.
And like it's
That's what I was
totally.
gonna say. Yeah,
Yeah,
that could really occur to someone, and
yeah.
it's really scary.
Did you ever watch the Hitcher TV series?
Oh no, I never saw that.
Pretty fucking good. And the only reason I got to watch it because it came on this. We only had like regular TV back when I was a kid, no cable, none of that stuff. So we had like 6 channels if the antennas came in right.
Mhm.
So one channel was like UPN, I think it was, or it was channel 36. It was like UPN, I think, or something else before UPN. But anyways, they showed reruns of the Hitcher TV series, and it will usually come on like Sunday afternoons, like after some paid program bullshit. You have the Hitcher TV series, and pretty fucking good. It's been a long time since I revisited and stuff, but it's each episode's like a whole different story.
Oh,
I think the first one goes off the Hitcher from the movie, and then after that, it's kind of like the hitchhiker's telling the stories, right? So it's like it goes off like that, and each story is different and really
was it
good.
was it the Hitchhiker then series?
You know what? Maybe I am
Okay.
mistaken. I might be getting those mixed up.
Yeah.
I think you're right. It was the
Okay,
hitchhiker
so
series.
it's an
Still good
anthology.
though. Yeah. That's
Yeah,
it.
Hitchhiker. I'm looking at it now. Wow, it went from 83 to 91. That's a good run. Because I was gonna say, how do they make so many stories out of just like one thing? But if it's an anthology type thing, that makes sense. That's cool.
Yeah.
I'll check it
Great
out. I wonder
show.
if it's some, like it must be running somewhere.
Probably
Or
Tubi.
Tubi, yeah, Tubi has everything. YouTube has a lot of stuff. YouTube, I have no problem paying for premium.
Is it worth it? I haven't. That's the only thing I don't do extra is YouTube Premium. I haven't tried that.
I would be happy with like 3 less streaming services than just YouTube.
Yeah.
But I watch a lot of like educational stuff too, and like UFO shit. So it's definitely worth it for me.
Yeah, I have so many fucking subscriptions right now. Like I forget which ones I have. It's horrible because there's so
Yeah.
many of them. I gotta have them all though, you know.
I forgot I had like Peacock because I get it confused with Paramount, and then Peacock hiked up its prices and sent an email. I'm like, I'm gonna get rid of this one now. I never watch anything on there.
I watched something recently, movie wise, on there. I can't remember what the fuck it was. I guess it wasn't very good if I already forgot it. But I usually keep Peacock just to watch The Office. That's pretty bad, right?
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's like,
I've never
yeah.
seen an episode of The Office because I
Oh,
worked in an office most of my life. So I'm just like,
okay.
get it.
Yeah, I understand. But yeah, that's another one of my favorite comedies. It doesn't touch Seinfeld where Seinfeld's at, but The Office is really good. And it's one of those shows you can just, once you get done with the series, you can just start it over. You know, it's a
Uh,
comfort thing.
yeah.
So I
Cool.
followed it over to Peacock after Netflix dropped it because they're like, we can't afford to keep this on here anymore.
Right.
But yeah, that's my list, and I'm glad they kind of changed up the original Morty and stuff and got what's his name to play Morty in the newer episodes. I think he's a way better fit, a lot funnier.
Yeah. Did that guy die though? The first one?
Yeah, he
Oh.
did. Yeah, yeah. Actually, almost the whole cat, all the older folks on Seinfeld are all dead. Like, you know, all the parents and
Oh,
stuff, they're all dead now. It's sad.
I meant is that why they replaced him because he died? I don't know.
Oh, that I don't think so. I should have looked into that, but I don't think he died that early on. But
Yeah.
yeah, I'm not
Yeah.
100% sure on that.
All right. Is it my turn?
It
Yeah.
is.
All right. Well, I'm looking at episode 5, which was the stock tip. So this episode's notable because it's one of the few where George ends up on top after the events of the episode have transpired.
Yeah, very few times.
Yeah. In this episode, Jerry contemplates asking his girlfriend Vanessa to go away on a holiday together. So Vanessa was played by an actor named Lynn Clark. And she was Jerry's girlfriend throughout most of season 1, despite being in only 2 episodes. So that's kind
Hmm.
of interesting. But yeah, you definitely would recognize her. So Lynn Clark made many appearances on TV and film in the 80s and 90s. And in 1990, she was in the rated R film Demon Wind, in
Oh,
which
the
she
demon one. Yeah.
played. Yeah. I had never seen or heard of Demon Wind. How embarrassing. But I really wanted to after I saw the poster and the tagline said Demon Wind, it'll blow you away.
Yeah.
It's very Gene Shalit. And then after reading the premise, which is Corey and friends visit a broken down old shack in the middle of nowhere to investigate mysteries of his past. After realizing that his grandparents dabbled in black magic, demons and the undead begin to attack, taking Corey and his friends down one by one. Awesome.
Indeed.
Another cool tagline was now you see it, now you don't, now you're dead.
Perfect.
So glad we have ChatGPT now. This film is also featured in the video game High on Life, which I don't know anything about, but I thought that was interesting.
Hmm.
And one of the goofs mentioned in IMDb was the same explosion is used twice in the movie, but it's probably because they didn't have enough money to do it again.
I totally agree with that. It's super low budget. Yeah.
So low budget. But okay, so I ended up watching it last night on Tubi. And right away, I was just like, ugh, grossed out by the gnarly effects makeup. It's a lot of like gooey, liquidy, like
Yeah.
vomit just dripping out of people's mouths slowly, chunks and white shit. But it's so like goofy, in some parts where you're just like, what the fuck? Like, did I just see that happen? Like this guy roundhouse kicks a demon lady's head off.
Oh yeah, the karate guy. Yeah, he's
Yeah, the
awesome.
karate guy. So there's a lot of very entertaining, goofy sort of things. Like I totally could see watching it at like a cult classic night, with beer. It's hard to watch sober at like 7 p.m. But I did watch it and I'm glad that I did for some of the goofy scenes. It's pretty terrible. Like I don't think I'd watch it again.
Yeah.
Apparently, it was in Joe Bob's Last Drive-In. Like he
Yes.
introduced them. I didn't know that, but
That's the first time I watched it was with Joe Bob, and
oh,
yeah,
okay.
luckily we had Joe Bob there while we watched that movie. You know what I mean? Like, yeah,
To help you, yeah, it would definitely be way more entertaining that way. Because
super
watching it
fun.
just alone, I was like, oh God, what? So yeah, that's my little just straight up Lynn Clark over to Demon Wind.
That's cool. I'm glad you got to witness Demon Win, and you
Yeah,
know,
me
and you
too.
went in like, you went in this fucking watching it without Joe Bob, which is crazy. Joe Bob makes that one so much more, easier to deal with, because
Yeah,
all the weird facts about that one. It's a crazy movie.
cool. Yeah,
Yeah, and also the those like practical effects with like the pus and vomit and stuff. Those always get me too. Like the
yeah,
sliminess and shit like that. That gets me a little bit.
right. Like I was watching it, like contemplating, like what am I gonna eat? And I was like, maybe I won't have anything.
Yeah, it's doing something good if it messes you up from like eating while watching.
Yeah, definitely no nachos or anything.
No. All right, so my turn, and this one was kind of hard to start off with because it's Jerry Seinfeld, and he hasn't really been in any horror movies. It's Jerry Seinfeld. So I took this as a challenge. So I went at it like this. Jerry Seinfeld was in the B movie, which you can consider a horror movie because
Oh yeah,
I wouldn't
yeah.
watch it. But
Be horrible to see it in the theater with kids. Yeah.
yeah, totally good. So he was in the B movie with Renee Zellweger, who was in the worst Texas Chainsaw movie ever made, Texas Chainsaw Massacre: The Next Generation.
100% the worst, if not
Fuck,
one of the worst films ever made.
so bad. I revisited this one last year or year before last. I think it was during the pandemic, really. And, I was like, oh, let's see if it, maybe got a little bit better since last time I seen it on DVD when it first came out. And I think it got worse. I'm like, God
uh,
damn, this sucks. There's no kills in it, really. I don't think there's even one kill in this movie. There is. It's like off screen, hardly no gore, and only like saving point that doesn't really save this movie at all. I like Matthew McConaughey's performance. It's fucking mean
mhm,
as hell. But besides that, everything else is just fucking horrible.
totally. Well, that one, and also, what was that other? The Beginning, 2000s.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Ugh.
What the fuck was that?
What was that? Yeah, it had a fucking baby in it. It's just terrible.
I'm like, this isn't even Texas Chainsaw. This is
No.
like some weird like French movie that's not good at all. Like, what is this? Like, how did it get all that? I don't
Yeah,
know.
and he takes off his mask. Get out of here.
Yeah, that was the fucking worst.
Horrible.
So Renee Zellweger was in the worst Texas Chainsaw Massacre: Next Generation with Matthew McConaughey, who was in Frailty. See, brought that
Yay.
back out there. Another
All right.
connection there. Frailty's
Cool.
awesome. And then also Matthew McConaughey was in Frailty with Bill Paxton, who was
Mhm.
in one of the most underrated vampire movies ever made, Near Dark.
Yes.
Fucking great movie. First time I ever watched that movie, I bought it. I bought a DVD of it from Kmart, which doesn't exist anymore.
Kmart. Awesome.
Yeah, yeah. So I have fond memories of that. It's like seeing the cover art and everything. Because back then they used a different cover art than the like newer one they use now, which looks like a fucking what is it? What's the sparkly vampire movies? Twilight. It looks like a Twilight cover. I do not like the new art they use for this movie on the newer editions, but
Mm.
anyways, I grabbed the older edition from Kmart and stuff, and I was like, "Holy shit, this is so good! Never even heard of this before." But
I
fucking
wonder
great movie.
if the reason for that remarketing kind of thing was to try to get newer generations to watch it because it's old. It's an old film now, and it has a Cramps song in there, so
It
maybe
does.
they'll be like, oh, well, I like Wednesday. I don't know. It's one of those movies where it's you probably have to watch it from the start when it comes out when you're younger to have a love for it over the years. I actually, oh, I thought I was wearing my Near Dark shirt today, but it's one of those where I just have like such fond memories of seeing it for the first time and being really touched. Over the years, I would say it didn't impact me as much as it did back then.
Yeah, and that's true with a lot of films, and
Yeah.
that's why I try not to overwatch a lot of like really cool movies that I love because I don't want to lose that love for that movie. And
I'm
it can happen.
very I very rarely rewatch films at all. Like especially the more I love the film, the more I treat it like a fine wine, where I'm just like, it'll age perfectly in my memory. And like the last time like I watched The Thing, for instance, was because they were re-releasing it in the theater, you know.
Hmm.
It was like a new theatrical version or whatever. So that's the last time I went and like actually watched it, which I don't know how long ago that was, maybe 2 years, a year and a half. But I don't watch it like some people just watch things over and over and over again, and I don't know how anybody can do that. I hate doing that. Like it
Yeah,
just
because
takes
yeah,
it away, you know, it takes away, like I want to forget things and come back and watch it again and be like, oh yeah. Or like if it's a really great film and I want to show someone who will appreciate it, then I'll rewatch it.
yeah,
Very
I totally agree with that. Because I don't know, it feels like almost like a chore rewatching movies. Like I want to live where I first watched this film. I want to feel that same way. I don't want to go back and really start critiquing things because that's what's going to happen. Like on the rewatches, I'm looking for all kinds of weird shit now. You know, I don't want to do that.
I don't know. There's some films that are just perfect. You're never going to find anything wrong with it. I just don't want to ruin the experience of the freshness of the film, you know?
Yeah, I'm totally with you on that. So Bill Paxton, who was in Near Dark, was also in that movie with. It was also Near Dark with Lance Henriksen, who was
Hmm.
in Pumpkinhead, which is fucking awesome.
Yes.
Pumpkinhead is great, and it was
It's
in
only
Pump.
good because of the monster,
Oh
but the
yeah,
rest of it is not very good, I don't think.
no, the monster makes it like the whole movie pretty much. The
Yeah.
monster and also like the witch that's in the
Which
woods and
is
all that.
cool.
She's fucking man. She's still scary even now. Like the makeup job on her is so
Yeah.
like weird. It's very weird and like I don't know otherworldly. You know, it doesn't look like a person anymore. Really, it's kind of almost
Right.
demonic looking. But yeah,
Yeah.
the special effects in that save that movie and makes it a classic in my eyes. You know.
Exactly. Is that Stan Winston? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
But I wish they had showed him more. I wish they'd showed Pumpkinhead way more. Like you're just like,
yeah.
yeah, and then that was it.
But when it did show him, it was scary as fuck because he's got like
So
this
scary.
weird music that accompanies him, like this rattlesnake sound, and then the flashy
Yeah.
lights. I'm like, man, that's fucking
Yeah, the
trippy,
flashing
man.
lights. Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a Pumpkinhead tattoo.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
I wish I had
I
horror
know.
tattoos on me.
Yeah.
I have a vampire on my shoulder. I got it's based off of Nosferatu. It was one. It was my first tattoo I ever got. I was like 18 and I got it
I
in
have a
Georgia where it
Nosferatu.
was legal. That
I have a Nosferatu on my shoulder too.
do you? That's cool.
Mhm.
I have a Nosferatu, then like a castle that's on fire underneath there because I wanted to make it in like this big like vampire piece and all. And I never even finished the fucking thing. I'm just like I'm good on tattoos and yeah, I wanted to do a whole piece on my right arm. I never finished. I'm like I don't know. I'm all right.
I'm becoming like a billboard. It's obnoxious. I'm like, yep, I like all these movies.
It's
Check
cool.
it
If I
out.
wasn't so cheap, I would totally have more tattoos and finding somebody to like do good tattoo work too. You know,
It
like
is
someone I
not.
want to sit in there with.
Yeah, I always tell friends, I'm like, you know, when I'm making some money, I'll have a new tattoo.
I usually just, like I said, spend that stuff on guitar pedals and stuff. But now I'm
Yeah.
slowing down on all that. And now I just buy crazy ass special edition VHSs and stuff of my favorite movies that I never actually play. I just have them there because I'm not putting that shit in my VHS player because it'd fucking eat it. So
Right. Yeah.
yeah,
You're like, it looks cool. Look at it.
yeah, it's like art and like, all right, I'm putting it away now. I'm never gonna come back out again. So I look at it again. So to
Thank-
finish out my Jerry Seinfeld web of horror there, Lance Henriksen was in Pumpkinhead with Cynthia Bain of a movie called Spontaneous Combustion from 1989, which
Hmm.
I don't remember seeing, but it sounds familiar.
Doesn't sound familiar to me.
You don't?
No.
And it looks familiar to me too when you go on IMDb, like the screenshots, and I'm like, I've probably seen it. It's like a TV movie. I didn't do too much research on what the movie was about, but looks
Uh-huh.
interesting. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
It's probably on Tubi.
And what year was that? 89?
89, yeah.
It's funny, like around that time and maybe mid to late 80s is when people started getting like sort of fascinated and scared of the idea of spontaneous combustion.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
in some book, I remember where it was like some book that we had, like my brother and I had, where it was like all these crazy sort of unbelievable things that happen, you know, those kind of books you have as a kid.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a page where it was like this person had spontaneously combusted, and it was just like a chair and ashes. It's like she probably fell asleep smoking a cigarette, but it's still scary that she just exploded.
There was a TV show around that time period too, or maybe in the early '90s called Burn Cycle. Have you heard of that one?
It sounds familiar, but no, I never seen it.
They would investigate like spontaneous combustion. That was like people would just start fucking bursting into fire like all around, and there's like this team of people. I think they call it the burn cycle or whatever, and they go around investigating these things. Why are these people like catching on fire? I'm like, oh man, that fucking sucks.
How does it happen and why?
Yeah, why are they catching on fire? It has something to do with some type of chemical or something that was going around, and people were just fucking blowing up and stuff. But it was also a video game too. It was one of those early like kind of point and click games where it's like video and then you choose what happens. One of those. So it was based off of that, or the TV show was based off the game, or vice versa. I can't remember, but weird shit, man. Early '90s and late '80s had some weird shit.
Yeah. It's just funny, like, that's not a thing anymore that people care about. Like if you hear a story, I'd be like, what is it? 88? Somebody spontaneously combusted.
Yeah, and like that shit don't happen no more.
Spontaneous. Like if you combust, it's probably spontaneous.
Yeah. What other way is it gonna be? Did you plan on blowing up,
Spontaneous implosion. I don't know.
It might become a thing again. Hopefully not though. We might start seeing stories about it.
Yeah.
This conversation here is going to start the myth of spontaneous combustion once again.
Yeah, what if like 5 people are listening to this spontaneously combust? Oh my gosh.
Oh man, I hope not. So this is a warning: don't spontaneously combust or whatever. So keep your cigarettes away from you when you fall asleep with alcohol and all that stuff. So
yeah, eat and drink natural foods, please.
Yeah, not a good combination of cigarettes and alcohol. It doesn't work. We'll blow up.
All right. Mine is going to episode 1, which was the pilot called the Seinfeld Chronicles. So in this one, Lee Garlington, the actor Lee Garlington, played Claire, who was a waitress at Pete's Luncheonette. She was supposed to be the leading female character, but she was replaced by Julia Louis-Dreyfus when Seinfeld became a series. That would suck. Could you imagine?
Oh yeah, that would have been horrible.
Just to go on and on living, knowing you could have been Elaine.
Yeah.
But she's had a really long career in acting and is still working currently and is even produced and directed. So that's awesome for her. Previous to Seinfeld, she'd been in a few notable horror films. 1983's Psycho 2, in which she played Myrna. I don't remember that movie. I know I've seen it, but it's been a long time. Like,
is that the Mick Garris one? Didn't he do Psycho 2 or I can't remember? It's 2 or 3 that he did. Maybe neither one of those. He did one of them.
The 83 Psycho 2 the sequel.
I have to look that up. I'm not sure. I know he did one of them. I just don't know which one.
I think that would be way early for him. I know one thing I learned was that Tom Holland was one of the writers. That's kind of interesting.
I think that is the one then. I think it is. I've heard him mention it on the podcast. I'm looking it up now too, but yeah.
It was directed by Richard Franklin. Yeah.
No. Yeah. Huh. Okay.
Yeah, Psycho 2. Because 83, Mick Garris isn't that old, is he? I mean,
I don't know. He was born in 51, so what is it, 70 something? 70? No.
And it's not, I mean, I don't remember it. It has Meg Tilly. Oh, Robert Loggia is in it as well. But yeah, written by Tom Holland. So I don't remember it, but I wonder if it's kind of funny because he's really clever writer. But hit and miss.
Yeah.
Anyway, she was also in the 1988 supernatural thriller, The Seventh Sign. Do you remember that one starring Demi Moore? Great.
I do. I totally enjoyed that one. Yes.
I actually do want to rewatch that one. It's been a long time. The Seventh Sign and like Serpent's Rainbow and like there's like Flatliners. That era of like supernatural thrillers is really good.
Yeah, it was such a dark era too. Like those 90s films they're filmed dark and like there's no humor there. They're just fucking pitch black dark, and I love that. I miss that about a lot of movies because everything now is kind of like not the same as the dark 90s.
That was 88 But
It was
yeah,
88?
yeah.
Okay, well, we'll consider that early 90s.
Mm.
Close enough.
She played a character named Dr. Margaret Innes. And then she was in something else that I wanted to connect her to, which is really more of a sci-fi comedy. But Hell Comes to Frogtown with Rowdy Piper.
Yes, good
Who
movie.
played a briefing officer. So it's been like way, way too long since I've seen these films to really comment on them. But I do remember really liking The Seventh Sign, and I wish that Rowdy Piper and Bill Paxton were alive to star together in a movie right now.
Oh yeah, totally.
Wouldn't that be
That was
amazing?
big loss. Yeah, it'd been fucking great.
I remember the day, dude. I remember I was at work and I was sitting there and the news came up and I just like cursed loud. And I worked like kind of like cubicle style, and someone on the other side was like, "Tell us how you really feel," or some shit. And I was like, "Dude," and I told him what happened, and he wasn't happy about it either.
Uh, yeah, a horrible day. And the
Yeah,
older we get, the more of our like horror acting heroes and stuff are gonna pass away, which sucks. I don't, it's hard to think about. Like, they're all gonna be going soon. Then who are we gonna be left with?
I don't want anybody to live forever.
Some people. Huh? I kind of. That's why I've always been like fascinated with like vampires and werewolves and stuff. The whole notion. I don't know werewolves live forever, but they live a long time. I know vampires live forever for the most part, but
Yeah.
it's always interested me. Like, oh, live forever. That's fucking cool. I want to do that, but. And then you see things that are going on like, hey, these record heat waves and all this other shit. People want to kill each other, like bombing this, bombing that. It's like, do you really want to sit through all that?
Yeah. I guess, you could like live in an island with just your favorite people. Something
Yeah.
like
And made them all immortal, like all
that.
vampires. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
I
That
think
works.
that'd be hard to select those people though. Ooh,
Yeah. Yeah, it would be. There's
some of
only
them get on your nerves eventually.
yeah. I'm a very solitary beast myself. So I don't like being around a lot of people or anybody really for long periods of
Maybe
time.
just an island of cats, and then
It would be.
yeah, and everyone you like has their own house like a mile away.
It would have to be that because I'm like, all right, I'm good. And, like, you got to go. Like, I can't sit here and fucking entertain. I'm horrible at that. Like,
Oh,
people, oh,
me.
hey, you want to hang out? I'm like, dude, I don't hang out. I don't know what to do when hanging out. Like, I like to sit here and quiet and watch movies or maybe read or something. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know how to hang out. I'm not here to entertain because I don't know how to fucking do that. I really don't want to do that.
Yeah, I like to do things that are productive, like not just sit there and be like, "Ugh." Like at least do something that is going to like, like this. This is hanging out in a good way,
Yeah.
It's fun. And like, but yeah, people just want to sit around and watch a TV show together. I'm like, get out of here.
And it's awkward to me because I'm pretty introverted and really introverted and stuff. And like, I feel like the whole time, like, I need to be entertaining that person. Like, if I'm too quiet, they're going to think I'm super weird. But, if I'm saying other shit, like, if I start talking, then that's going to come off super weird. Like, I don't want to have to deal with that shit.
Right. Oh, I think the worst thing in the world, like I know you haven't been in the dating world for a while, but like watching a movie with someone that you don't know that well is very uncomfortable. It's just like I want to enjoy this movie, but I'm also worried if this person needs water or it likes the movie or is bored. It's like
Yeah.
like you said, you have kind of this obligation when someone's your guest, and it's like, ugh, are they gonna like this movie? Like the last time I did that, it was like I put on the movie Gaspar Noé's Climax,
Mhm.
and he didn't like it, and I was like, well, you can get out of here.
Well, you can leave.
Yeah, because I'm gonna watch the rest of this movie, idiot. But it's also, like going to the movie with people you don't know that well also sucks. It's super awkward.
Yeah, totally. Like, yeah, everything you said. When I back in my single days, that was like the thing, like watching movies and like, oh, I don't. Do they like this? Are they gonna think I'm real crazy? Like, what do they think of me liking this movie? Like, it's a chore, man. And like, it's
Yeah,
fucking draining you. I'm like, this is horrible.
totally.
Yeah, yes. I am not big on socializing without like a end goal there or like something to do. I don't, and I don't drink either. Like every
Oh
so
man.
often I have a beer, but I don't really care. Like, all right, I'd rather have like a sugar-free Coke or something. Like that's what I like. Like it's just weird for me relating with people like that, where like drinking stuff and smoking. Like I don't do none of that. So I sit here quietly and make everybody feel uncomfortable. That's what I do.
I just stare.
Yeah. Like this means nothing to me here. With, do something
Sure.
else. But
Have you ever, like, I don't know, with your town or city, but like when people come to my area, they're like, oh yeah, I'm gonna be through Tucson, and you can show me things to do. I'm like, no, fuck off. Like, look it up on Google. What are there things to do in Tucson? Because I'm doing the same thing every day, and
yeah,
you're not invited.
that's something I kind of dread. Like the old drop in, like, hey, I'm in town this way. What are y'all doing? I'm gonna try to come by there and show some places we can eat at. And so I'm like, God damn it. I'm like, I don't fucking know, man. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, I don't. Yeah, I don't. And it's not like I go around my town looking at all the sites because I've lived here all my life. Like, I don't care.
Yeah. Weird. I'm like, I'm not a tour guide. No.
Yeah, I'm
The
the
thing
worst
I would
tour guide.
do would be like go to the bookstore,
Yeah, here's what I do. I like to walk around Best Buy sometimes and look at whatever little bit of movies they have, or go eat at this one restaurant I always go to, and that's pretty much it. Then I watch horror movies and do other stuff, but I don't really do outside stuff.
Yeah. It's encroaching on my lifestyle and people want me to entertain them.
Yeah, that's a whole Seinfeld episode right there.
Yeah.
All right, my last one here is going to be with Julia Louis-Dreyfus.
Okay.
So we're starting with her role in Troll from 1986.
Oh.
Yeah, I forgot she was in that until I did this.
Me too.
Yep. And
So,
I kind of like Troll. Like a lot of people fucking hate Troll, but I like it because of the memories I have watching this for the first time and seeing people turn into like this green liquid that the trolls eat.
yeah,
Shit
it's gross.
horrified me. Yeah.
I think it's pretty good.
Yeah, it sounds,
Better than
I
Demon
agree.
Wind.
Which one?
It's better than Demon Wind.
Oh yeah, by a mile. Yeah.
Yeah.
So she was in Troll with Michael Moriarty, who was in Q the Winged Serpent,
Oh, nice.
which is a really killer creature feature movie.
Yeah.
And let's see, Michael Moriarty was in Q the Winged Serpent with Richard Roundtree, who was in Maniac Cop,
Cool.
with Bruce Campbell, who was in The Evil Dead,
Mm-hmm.
who was in there with Betsy Baker, who was in True Blood, the TV series,
Nice.
with Alexander Skarsgård, who was in Infinity Pool with your favorite actor, Mia Goth, who was in X. Yeah.
Oh, I don't hate her at all. I think she's a great actor, and I wish she would get better roles.
Yeah, she's just in so much shit. Like she's in everything. Like
She's in everything as the same character. I want to like she's a good actor. Like she could be in something that's not just sex pot.
Did you like her in Infinity Pool?
Nope.
She was extra annoying in Infinity. I like the movie was great, but she was so fucking annoying.
I wasn't
that
a
role
fan
well.
of the film at all. I thought it was like tedious. Like, oh, I could see what rich people fucking do. Yeah. That's it. It was like it didn't the storyline asked me to go too far into non-reality from reality to me. But better than Skinamarink.
Hey, no.
Yeah, we got to do like a Siskel and Ebert sometime.
Yeah, that's fine. That's can't like all the same things. Like, that's where fun comes in. Yeah.
No.
Would you were you a True Blood person? Did you like True Blood?
I actually did, and not because I think it's good, but because it's salacious.
Right.
Yeah. So I enjoyed the smarminess of it. Once in a while, it'd be like they'd have like a good episode where it was like, oh, that was interesting. That was unique, or a new character they'd bring along. And I'd be like, oh, this is cool. You kind of get like, if you start watching it, it almost appeals to a soap opera part of your brain, where you're just like, oh, I got to see what happens.
And there's also some really dark undertones there too. Like there's a lot of kind of comedy and like kind of Skinamax type shit going on, but
Yeah,
underneath all that there was like a darkness throughout. I thought, that was kind of intriguing to me.
true. Yeah, yeah. I I think that was the last like really long lasting like vampire series, right? I mean, there's been some here and there, but that one went on for seasons.
Yeah, I think you're
Several
right.
seasons. Wow.
The weird days of HBO, the
Yeah,
weird good days of HBO before they
yeah,
became
definitely.
Max.
Definitely. Yeah, True Blood and Dexter, man. That was it.
Yeah. Now it's I didn't True Detective season 1 come out close to this time. I think it was after like the final season of True Blood, maybe around that time, but I think they're pretty similar in their time frame.
Yeah, you're right. 2014. Yeah.
That's
That's
crazy how
weird. It doesn't seem like it's 2014 to me, that first.
no.
But when does the new one start? Season 4. I thought it was pretty soon.
I thought it was sometime this year. I
It
thought.
is this year, but I don't remember the premiere date. But it's definitely this year. Um, I forgot the. Well, I can just look it up. I forgot the premiere date.
Isa Lopez is doing this season, correct? Or am I thinking of something else? She did Tigers Are Not Afraid and stuff. Is she
You're
doing this?
right. You're right. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's so cool.
Yeah, she's great.
Um,
I think I got faith in her. So
Late 2023. But see, that's the thing is like whenever like for season 2 and season 3, I was like, ooh, good this, good that, good actors, good story. And then it was like, this sucks. Or
yeah,
boring. So I'm not gonna get my hopes up. I agree with you. Everything is there to make it good, but it's gotta be, like if they named season 2 and 3 something else, those would have been fine as their own shows. But because it's in
hmm
the detective world, you gotta match up, or you have to be on par with season 1, and that's a really tough thing to do. Like, how can you can't top season 1.
no. For any
No.
show to keep up with season 1 of True Detective, yeah, that's gonna be a hard one. It's like
Yeah,
one of the best seasons of anything ever made. It's so good and fucking so
totally.
dark. Yeah, god damn, it's good. I'm rewatching it right now slowly. I'm like on episode
Yeah.
4, just taking my time. Every couple weeks I watch an episode and stuff. It's so heavy, and I like it to really like sink in and stuff. It's something else.
Yeah. So we'll see. I don't know. It's kind of Fargo-ish. Night Country is the like name of it, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah, True Detective Night Country.
Sounds kind of cool. Night country. That sounds
Yeah.
dark. Sounds like some maybe redneck shit going on. Some dark redneck cult
Yeah.
stuff. Maybe I don't know.
It's set in Alaska, so that's cool.
She's also working on a werewolf western with Guillermo del Toro, I believe.
Hmm.
Yeah, I don't know how that's going, but that was she talked about that on a podcast or something I read in like Rue Morgue or something a few years
Cool.
ago. So hopefully that's still in the works because I think
Yeah.
those two doing a werewolf western sounds fucking
That
great.
sounds great. Yeah.
Yeah.
But again, Guillermo del Toro, I'm just kind of like, some things I'm like, oh my God, great. And then other things, I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah, I try not to get my hopes up too high anymore with movies. Like there'd be things, oh man, this is gonna be great. When it comes out, it disappoints me. So I'm just like, whatever. We'll see when it comes out. I'm not gonna fucking get all
Yeah.
hyped about something. And right now, there's really nothing I'm hyped up about.
I'm
I
hyped
don't
up
know.
about Robert Eggers' Nosferatu, and that will be good. Like, I have no doubt about it.
Yeah, it better fucking be good. That's for sure. Like if that's bad, it's gonna be horrible if that's bad. But yeah.
There would be no way for it to be bad. And I read the script; it's amazing. Yeah, but
William Defoe's in that too, right? Is he playing Dracula? I thought.
no,
Am I
there's no,
wrong? Who's playing
there's no,
Dracula?
there's no
I
Dracula.
mean Nosferatu. Yeah, not Dracula.
Bill Skarsgård plays Count Orlok.
Oh, okay. For some reason, I thought William Defoe was in this.
He is in it, but he's
Oh,
not playing Count Orlok, who's
damn,
the
he'd make a great Nosferatu. I,
um. Sure, but then he did Shadow of the Vampire. Nobody
that's
really
true.
wants to see him as that again,
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I think it's better to have a younger guy, and Bill Skarsgård can pull it off. And I mean, it's just such a good cast, and Robert Eggers is not an idiot. Like, he's not going to fuck it up. So, of course, it's going to be
Right.
good, you know?
What's the date on that one? I don't even remember when that's supposed to come out or
It's next year.
next year. Yeah. That's something
Yeah.
to look forward to then. I will look forward to
Yeah.
that. Hopefully.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I bought like the Northman shirt before the movie came out. I had no doubt about it. I was like, oh, yeah, this is 100% going to be one of my favorite movies. And yeah, definitely was.
Yeah, Northman did not disappoint. That's a fucking great
No.
movie. God damn,
Yeah.
it's brutal.
It's amazing. Yeah. That one I've seen a couple times in the theater, and then I probably won't watch it for years, you know?
Yeah, I totally get that. I think I've seen it twice, and then I'm not going to watch it again for many years from now. Then I go back and revisit, and like, oh, it's still fucking awesome,
Yep. Yep. So good. So yeah, he's the man. Like, he just can't do any wrong. Eggers, I think. So okay, I have one last one too.
Right.
This is episode 2, The Stakeout again. And so there's an actor named Ron Steelman who played Artie Levine, Jerry's cousin.
Mm-hmm.
He drives a wagon and insists on pronouncing his name Levine. So Ron Steelman, he doesn't have a ton of credits, and apparently he was an elf, but let's not talk about that.
God damn Elf, man. Fuck Elf.
Fuck Elf. He played a character named Mac in the 92 film Out for Blood, which is an action film which an attorney is forced to fight back after his family is brutally murdered by vicious drug dealers, leading to an astounding martial arts showdown. And that's funny, that definitely, that's a 90s era thing with those martial art films. Do you remember those?
Oh, yeah. Oh, hell yeah. I used to watch them with my dad. We had them all on like VHS and stuff. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So
good part
fun.
of my time. Yeah. I fucking love those.
Good stuff. So I might watch it. It sounds kind of good. I don't know.
Is that Steven Seagal, Out for Blood?
Out for Blood? No, it was really kind of under the radar.
Must be thinking Out for Justice.
Yeah, maybe you're thinking Out for Blood. It had like an Asian lead.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not sure who he was, but it looks pretty legit, like for 90s martial arts action film. But yeah, anyway, the film also starred Michael Delano as Lieutenant Croft. So he's a New York actor who's been in a ton of stuff from the 60s to the 2000s, including both Ocean's 11 from 2001 and Ocean's 12, 2004 as Walsh, the casino manager. And like Ocean's 11 has a ton of well-known actors in it, but one of them was Casey Affleck as Virgil Malloy, and Affleck is in one of my all-time favorite films, David Lowery's A Ghost Story.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, great film. Not a horror movie, but an amazing film. Speaking of disappointments, okay, I was not a fan of The Green Knight, and I thought it was going to be like...
Oh, yeah. Shit. Yeah, I remember seeing your post, and I think I was posting about it a bunch. Like, oh, fucking Green Knight looks great. Like, it has this Excalibur type feel to it and everything. I don't know what happened.
No, it was just boring, especially if you watch it after The Northman. You're like, no.
Yeah, definitely.
This ain't it.
No.
David Lowery does have a new film coming out soon that looks pretty good. I forgot what it's like I think a World War II movie, but it looks cool. It looks great. I'll hopefully, I'm not going to get my hopes up, but I'm definitely excited for it. And then, so yeah, Casey Affleck, he starred in Ghost Story with Rooney Mara, who I forgot because my brain wiped my memory of it, was in the 2010 remake of A Nightmare on Elm Street.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
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 Even though I saw that movie in the theater, I remember very little of it.
Yeah, that's good. That's the best case scenario there. You don't.
Yeah. So in theory, though, I thought that film should have worked, right? You remember when it was going to come out? It was like, oh, cool. So Wes Craven's a writer on it, and the casting of Jackie Earle Haley seemed like a good idea for Freddy to me. I thought it was like, okay, yeah. And, Rooney Mara is great. But it was totally forgettable and boring. Like, they didn't spend any time making it something like new or interesting.
No. And I didn't like the way Freddy looked. I hated them.
No.
It looks fucking
scary.
No. It's like, what the fuck is this Wish version of Freddy?
Yeah, it was like, total Wish version. It's funny that it won the 2011 People's Choice Award for their for favorite horror movie.
Uh,
People's Choice Award.
yeah, who gives a
It
fuck?
also won the 2011 Fangoria Chainsaw Award for worst film. So
Oh,
obviously,
perfect. Yeah.
obviously horror fans know better, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was my last one.
Nice. That's a good one. Yeah, and bringing back the atrocity of the Nightmare on Elm Street film, the 2010 one. Jeez, so bad, so bad.
Yeah.
Fucking
It's
hard. That's
boring.
like there's another one too that was a. Oh, it was like the last Hellraiser film that had the CGI pinhead that wasn't Doug Bradley. Can't remember which one that was, but it was fucking horrible.
You're not talking about the one on Netflix or Hulu, right? That one was okay.
No. Yeah, that one was okay. It wasn't great, but it was okay. I liked it more. Like I was really hyped up for that new Hellraiser, like real hyped up. Like, oh, Clive Barker's involved in this. Like, okay, cool. And my
Yeah.
first watch, I'm like, oh man, this is fucking great. This is one of the best. But as I sat there and thought about it over the next couple of days, I'm like, it wasn't as good as I thought it was. And I rewatched it. I'm like, it's still decent. It's a lot better than these other Hellraiser sequels and stuff. I would probably put it right after three is where I would rank it in my list.
Uh-huh.
And
Yeah.
I
That
don't
makes
know. Yeah, I don't know. It didn't. I wanted more. I wanted to feel more Hellraisery. Like when the new Hellraiser started off, they're like in that club scene and stuff. I was like, all right, cool. It's gonna be like the BDSM feel to it, like the original Hellraiser. That
yeah.
like real seedy type darkness to it. But after
Mhm.
that scene was over, it like shows us, it goes in a different direction there. I'm like, man, this is not really what I wanted.
Right. Yeah.
But was it bad? No, it definitely wasn't bad. It's just I wanted to be more than what it was.
Yeah, especially if it's gonna be a Hellraiser. Like if it was some other film with just like random demons, it'd be fine. But it's if you're gonna make something under this like major name in horror, it's gotta kind of try harder to make a
Yeah.
good story. And I think you might have been thinking of Hellraiser Judgment, right? Where it had that goofy looking pinhead.
I it could have been.
28
There was
or
like two of
Revelation.
them. Revelations, I think, is the one I'm thinking. It was the one where they did like a CGA pinhead. And
Weird.
yeah, it
Yeah,
was
I
bad.
think it's
Yeah.
Revelations. Ew, you can watch it on Pluto for free.
Oh, you got it. You definitely got to do that.
Gross. Yeah,
The
this
one
guy.
after that wasn't too bad. It wasn't great either. It was like it all took place in like one room pretty much, and it was actually a real Pinhead makeup job and stuff. I can't remember the guy that played Pinhead. It was a different. It wasn't Doug Bradley, but
Yeah.
that was just a lot of gore, and it had some decent ideas, but it still wasn't very good. You know what I mean? It's like a lot of like also soft core porny type things going on. Like, is this Skinamax again? Like, like it's like a Skinamax version of freaking of Hellraiser.
Yeah.
Not in a Clyde Barker way. It didn't feel like Clyde Barker at all. I don't know. Not a fan.
No. Yeah, it's funny. I'm looking at images from Revelations, and it's that guy they always show in the memes of like
Yeah.
Wish Pinhead
Yeah. Yeah.
or best value or whatever.
So bad. Yeah. I'm good on
Yeah,
that. No.
terrible.
Can't,
They just
never,
cast any bald guy.
what's that?
They just cast any bald guy.
Yeah, I'm like, hey, you're gonna be Pinhead. Here, we're gonna put this on you. Like, I don't know. Doug Bradley brought Pinhead to life. This it's
Yeah.
him. That to me that is Pinhead, and replacing him is weird. But I do like with the new Hellraiser movie how they went in a different direction. Like, oh, this is a different take on Pinhead. They're not trying to replace Pinhead with some other actor. So that was cool.
Yeah, I mean, that's
Even though
true.
she wasn't in the movie a lot, like,
I don't really see the point of making Pinhead a woman. It's like, give me a break.
right, right.
Get your fucking like inclusive shit out of here. Just make her a character that
Did
has.
they call her Pinhead in that?
I don't remember.
I can't
But
remember
she's
either.
like basically the Pinhead character, and it's dumb. Like I don't know.
Yeah, I'd
I don't
rather
like.
have Doug Bradley Pinhead.
I don't like casting women for the sake of making sure they have a woman in there, or same with any ethnic groups. It's
Right.
like just fucking be normal, man.
Yeah.
Like if it needs a woman that's a character, don't force it and write like a badass character.
Yeah,
Regardless
and you
of whether it's a man, woman, or whether what ethnic group they're from.
right. No, totally agree with that. Yeah, shouldn't have to force the shit and you come
Yeah.
out with subpar bullshit.
Yeah, yeah. I like when, it's a female character that just feels like it could be played by a man or a woman. It's just
Right.
like, this is a good character who happens to be female or Asian or Hispanic. Like, just mix it up. We don't have
Yeah,
to stop forcing shit.
I
Anyway,
agree with that.
that's my stance. I get accused of not putting enough female characters, or like people of different races and stuff I write. I'm like, well, there probably wouldn't be a female in this particular position, okay? Like, I don't know.
I really hope we get your werewolf stuff out there. Like I know it needs to be fucking made.
The
Be a good
script
werewolf
is
movie.
out there for anybody to read on Coverfly.
Oh, Coverfly. Okay, I've never been on that site to read scripts or anything.
It's called Let the Dogs Out, and it's actually a werewolf slash skater film.
Okay. What kind of skating? Like rollerblading or
Skateboarding.
skateboarding? Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. And so it's basically these kids want to shoot like a demo of their skate crew to try to get
Hmm.
sponsored. And they shoot it in an abandoned warehouse, where a werewolf is being held.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's got like a 90s feel. Just the way you describe that feels like it might be in one of the Howling movies. Not Your Sister's a Werewolf though, because that
To
one
me, that's
or
80s. I'm gonna say it went 80s.
180s. Oh yeah, with skateboarding and stuff. Yeah, but still, that's a great premise for a good werewolf movie. It's not, we need to fucking make it. Did I ever send you my short story about the my cat horror story that I have? Like it's a super short story.
I haven't read it because that's the kind of person I am.
Okay, well at least you're
What's
honest.
the premise of it, though?
It's kind of like this dude is getting some weird vibes from his cats and stuff. He's like, something's not, they're fucking cats. You're gonna get a strange vibe off them anyways. But
Yeah.
he's like, yeah, something's really off about my cats or whatever. So he like installs some cameras and stuff in his house when he's gone, or he's got them on when he's sleeping and everything. And he goes back and starts reviewing like the tape and all that stuff, and he finds out that his cats are on what they seem at night or when he's not away and they know he's going to be gone for a while. They kind of strip off their cat skin, and underneath underneath their like little cat suits they're wearing, they're like fucking little like goblin demon type things. And in the middle of his room, there's like a gateway to hell pretty much, and they do their like evil shit throughout the day.
Are they
And,
like the little dudes from the gate, or like subspecies, little demon dudes?
definitely like the ones from the gate is what I see in my head.
Oh.
Yeah, and they're like, and they figure out that he is videotaping them. Like they actually go and see the cameras and all that stuff, and then they go after him one night when he's sleeping and stuff, and yeah, they pretty much kill him and stuff, and that's the end of the short story. But yeah,
That could be true. We don't know. Like
yeah,
demons that just want to look cute on the outside. That's basically what cats are.
they've got little outfits on and stuff, and when we're going, they get to take off their skin and be who they really are, little demons.
I would be fine either way. I think they're both cute.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind having a little demon, if they have little wings and stuff. That's cool too, little tail and demon tail.
Yeah, and they do stuff for you.
I mean, we live with cats now. I mean, if you were to describe what a cat is to somebody back in like the, not the Egyptians now, but say some explorers from like the 1500s, whatever. Like, oh yeah, I live with the cats. These things that have claws and hair and fucking teeth, like giant canine teeth there, like the fucking pointy ears and a tail. They're like, oh, you're describing a demon to me. Like, nope, this is a cat. We live with monsters.
Yeah, they're wild. They're constantly wild. Yeah, I was just petting Mila last night on the head lightly, and she was like, "Nope," and attacked my hand.
Yeah, and it's so random.
Totally, but it's so cute. You can't get mad.
Yeah, never. I mean, I was laying next to Lily yesterday on the couch, and we're about to watch Joe Bob. She likes when the crickets are like doing their thing, like the intro before you get to watch Joe Bob is like the countdown and stuff. She loves that.
Oh.
So I go to sit down by her and put my arm around her, like rubbing her and stuff. Like she's like, oh, purring and everything. Then she's like, "Arr," and like, oh, nope, gotta move my hand. I'm good.
We have
That's cats.
prove it. Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. She's got me a few good times, and their claws are so sharp, like they hit you, and like, oh, I feel a slight burn. Okay, whatever. Then like 2 seconds later, here comes the blood. I'm like, God damn, like little razors, you know?
Or like an itch. Oh, I hate that.
Yeah.
Once I had a cat that got me in the eyelid, and like her claw was stuck in my eyelid, and I was like, oh, and I
Oh
just like grabbed her arm very steadily, took it out. It was it was nuts.
man, that's horrifying. Fuck that.
Yeah. I was fucking with her there. I was laying in bed and like kissing her, and she was like, I hate this. I hate it. I deserved it.
I remember as a kid or whatever, I had a Labrador, a black lab, and I wanted to go hug the dog. It's still a puppy, but it was like 60-pound puppy or whatever. I was hugging him and stuff like I normally do, but my face got too close to his face, and he was like a millimeter away from this fucking bite my goddamn nose and stuff off. I could feel his teeth.
God.
Like it was so scary. I'm like, oh fuck this. Nope, never doing that again. I'm good. I never did it again either. Like no more hugging dogs. Nope, nope, nope.
No more hugging dogs.
Fuck that. No. It's like, all right, I'm not doing that anymore. And you got to be the same way with cats. You got to know your limits.
Yeah, yeah, you got to respect their boundaries. I do.
Little demons.
Guys with cats. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Another Seinfeld episode.
You know what's funny? I never watched that episode where the cat is in the apartment and they have to feed it underneath the door because it stresses me out.
Oh yeah, and he's using that slicer or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I skip it. If I'm watching the episodes, I skip that one because I can't take it.
Yeah, it is a stressful episode. It's a good one though with the slicer. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm surprised Jerry never had a cat. You know, as clean as cats are.
Yeah. He travels too much.
Yeah, you're right. That's true. That'd be interesting if you did have a cat on a couple episodes.
I could see Newman having a cat.
Oh yeah, I could see him having multiple cats.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cat guy.
I love that. Go ahead.
I was to say there was a rumor going on forever that the guy that played Newman was dead. Did you know that? There was a rumor saying he got hit by a truck and died.
No.
So I went on thinking he was dead, and like looking through IMDb one day, I was like, he's still fucking alive, and he's lost a lot of weight and doing other movies. But there's a rumor that he was dead.
Yeah.
A lot of people believed it.
Bruce Knight, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Were you happy? Like, oh my God.
Yeah, I was happy to know he's alive. I'm like, fuck yeah. I'm like, that's cool. I thought he was dead for many years.
Wayne Knight.
Yeah, Wayne Knight, yeah.
Into a Batman frame of mind there. Wayne Knight, yeah. That's funny.
Yeah, he's doing good. Like he's lost a ton of weight. Looks like a totally different person.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was something, especially him in Jurassic Park and stuff like that. Like
yeah.
Always Newman.
Perpetually Newman. Hey, that's a good band from the 90s.
What's that?
Perpetually Newman. That's a good band name for the 90s.
That's a totally good band name. I'm sure there is like a little indie band out there from the 90s. Like, hey, that's our name, Perpetual Newman. They said it on the podcast I was listening to. Awesome. Well, this has been really fun. And like I said, this is only going to be our first installment of this new, like, our Seinfeld series. And what was the name again? What we're going by?
The Horror Masters of Our Domain.
Horror Masters of Our Domain. So this is episode 1. And we're going to be going through every season of Seinfeld, maybe doing something different every season, whatever we come up with, and throwing some connections between Seinfeld and horror because they go together very well. There's a lot of connections there. So.
Yep, it'll only get better too. This is only like 5 episodes, so.
Yep, and as we further get down the line of seasons, like the big Twin Peaks factor kind of comes in too, because there's like a good time with Twin Peaks and Seinfeld. So.
Oh yeah, Cheryl and Finn. Was she in it? No, I'm thinking Friends. Sorry.
Oh, Friends. Are you a Friends fan?
I'm not a fan, but I watch it.
Never get in Friends. At least you don't. This is not one of your favorite shows, so that's always good.
No, it's just if it's on, I'll probably watch it.
I could never get into Friends. Like it was either Friends or Seinfeld. You pick your side. I'm like, nah, fuck Friends. I'm good.
Seinfeld's I'll pick Seinfeld there. Yeah.
Oh hell yeah, yeah.
No contest.
All right. Well, this has been fun, and we
Yeah.
will do this again soon whenever our second episode comes out. But yeah, this was cool. I like this.
Yeah. Thanks for asking me. Good idea.
Oh yeah, and hope you have a good rest of your day, and make sure watch out for your demon cats. Set your cameras up to check your kitty there and see if she changes into a demon at night. I don't know.
I might do that. Yeah. Now I'm wondering.
You never know. All right, well, take care, and I will talk to you again later.
All right. Bye.